Hello everyone, this is Rohith and welcome to Mind Minutes with Santhosh. Let me begin today's episode with a simple question. From the moment you wake up in the morning until the moment you go to sleep at night, the many things you do during the day, are those really your decisions? Or are they choices that society quietly taught you to make? Think about it. The way we speak, the way we behave, the way we react to situations, we usually believe all of this is just our personality. But here is an interesting question. Is our personality completely our own, or has it been shaped over time by our family, our culture, and the society we grew up in? That's exactly what today's episode is about. Cultural conditioning. So what does cultural conditioning actually mean? In simple words, cultural conditioning is a set of invisible rules and beliefs that society installs in our minds. From childhood, we constantly observe the people around us. We watch how our parents speak, how elders behave, how people make decisions, how they deal with problems. And without even realizing it, we slowly begin to imitate those patterns. Psychology actually explains this with an interesting idea. Human beings learn more by observation than by instruction. We don't just learn by listening to what people say, we learn by watching what they do. That's why siblings who grow up in the same family often share similar habits, values, and attitudes because they grew up in the same environment. Over time, culture becomes something like a default settings in our minds. Without realizing it, those beliefs start influencing our choices and behaviors. But here is something important. Cultural conditioning is not entirely negative. In fact, it has many positive aspects. The first one is belonging. Festivals, traditions, and cultural practices bring people together. They create a sense of connection. Psychology tells us something very simple about human nature. Human beings are social creatures. We need connection. We need community. Culture helps create that connection. And that sense of belonging is actually very important for our mental well-being. The second positive aspect is values. Our society teaches us many important values through culture. Respect for others, kindness, helping people in need, strong family bonds. These values often come from cultural traditions, and in many ways they help keep societies stable. So cultural conditioning cannot simply be called good or bad. It has both strengths and limitations. Now, here is where the challenge begins. Sometimes cultural conditioning can suppress individuality. A person may think differently, they may have new ideas, but society might reject those ideas by saying that's not how things are done in our culture. When that happens, people often stay silent instead of expressing themselves openly. History actually shows many examples of this. Many innovators, artists, and thinkers were not accepted at first. Their ideas seemed strange because they challenged existing norms, but later those same ideas changed the world. So sometimes cultural conditioning can unintentionally block creativity and new thinking. There is also a very common sentence we hear in many societies. What will people say? That simple sentence can control many decisions in our lives. When choosing what to wear, when expressing an opinion, when trying something new, the first question that appears in our mind is often, what will people think? But the interesting truth is this: the same people we worry about are usually busy living their own lives. They are not analyzing our lives as much as we imagine. Yet, this imaginary audience can quietly limit our freedom. Many things in society are not physical realities. They become powerful simply because large groups of people believe in them. Culture works in a similar way. It becomes real and influential because we collectively accept it. Now the world today is changing faster than ever before. Because of the internet, social media, and globalization, different cultures are constantly mixing, and that puts our generation in a unique situation. On one side, we have traditional values, beliefs, and traditions that have existed for generations. On the other side, we have modern thinking, new ideas, new lifestyles, and new possibilities. Our generation is standing right between these two worlds, trying to balance both. And honestly, that balance is not always easy. But at the same time, it is also a powerful opportunity because our generation has the chance to do something important. We can preserve the traditions and values that still make sense, and at the same time, we can question the ideas that limit growth. Think of culture is like the roots of a tree. Without roots, a tree cannot stand strong. In the same way, culture gives us identity, belonging, and values. But if a tree only had roots and never grew branches, it would never reach the sky. A tree needs to grow. Its branches need to spread. So, it needs space to expand. In the same way, culture can guide us, but it should not restrict our thinking, creativity, or growth. At the end of the day, this life belongs to you. So, don't forget your individuality. Before we close today's episode, let me ask you one question. Is there something in your life that you gave up because you were worried about what people might say? Just drop it in the comment box. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. I will see you again in the next episode with another meaningful conversation. Until then, be aware, be curious, and most importantly, be yourself.